Hello, buzzcocks, my name is Hotsty and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. Last time we built our setup here for colonizing other planets. We also built up our colonizer spaceship, and yes, I added another mod to get this nice shot of the planet we're in orbit in the background. But in the meantime, our spaceship is fully stocked. I think we have everything that we need on Fulgora. So let's go there, and I need to disrobe, and we need more chests. And also this has to go. And then I can travel to the space platform, this one. And then we can be on our way to Fulgora, where we hopefully can make some decent progress. And this animation transition through the clouds, that's just fabulous. So hopefully our spaceship will be able to cope with the dangers that are out there. Let's not unload for now and go there. And we will have a few things that we can unlock, like the recycler, the holmium processing, and the electromagnetic plants, and then also the science packs, without any additional research. And that's basically really the first thing I want to cover. And after that, we will have to see how we manage on that planet. I'm hoping that we can find a nice large island where we can have enough energy collection, we have enough debris that we can recycle, and we have enough space to have at least a considerable setup to begin with, because what I want to avoid is having to have rails, elevated rails, to go from one island to the next. That complicates things a bit, so I want to avoid that. But as we can see, we are not flying too fast. We are making decent progress nevertheless, and so far it's not really an issue. Also, when it comes to electric power, let's see. Yeah, now we are tanking a bit. There we see the accumulators. They draw a bit, but I think this is mainly due to the fact that sometimes we need more power for smelting and so on, and that also impacts it's impacted by the speed, because as we are flying we get more asteroids that we have to defend against, and if we are stationary that amount should be lower, and we hopefully should be able to cope with the power in the orbit of Fulgora, and there it is. So let's drop the landing pad. I packed the landing pad, right? Yeah, there. And then I will also go down to Fulgora. And hopefully we end up in a good spot where we can have a decent setup. All right, maybe this is not the best one, so let's grab that part, that landing pad, and look around a bit to find a nice big island. We are not in that big of a hurry, so let me walk a bit around, and then we will see what we have found. I have been exploring quite a bit, as you can see, and there are some nice landmasses here around, and I think even here, because this big one does not have anything on it that we can use, no scrap, no ruins, but maybe here the gap is tight enough so we can just belt things over with undergrounds, but here we have an important thing, the vault ruin, that we need to mine in order to make some advancements. So let's do that. It will take a while, but once we have that, we get the recycler, and the recycler is necessary for all the follow-up steps. And if we have a look here, this is 280, this is 500, and this is a really big one with 7 million, but it's a bit far out. So I think maybe we will start here, because there is a bit of protection against lighting, and then move on further as we get, for one, the materials down from our spaceship, but also produce things from recycling. I have cleared out a bit of space here, placed our cargo landing pad, and made a bit of room in my inventory. So actually we want to craft the recycler first. This one, yeah. And with this one we run into a catch, because this one needs power. For power we need the lightning rods, we have the steel, we have the copper cables, but we don't have the stone, or the stone bricks. We have stone, but we would need to melt that, and we don't have any coal. We also don't have any furnaces. Actually, there was somewhere kind of like a plant you could farm, but I think what we will do, let's see, we will send down a few of those, a few solar panels, a few robots for me, a few furnaces, some of those, miners, and power poles, undergrounds, inserters, those. Right. And let's have something going here. With a few accumulators. We need to make space. And just a bit of solar power there, so that we can have this going and smelt ourselves a few stones, because that should allow us to craft a harvester, which will then basically kickstart our production or our collection of energy here on this planet. Of course, this only works as long as we have sun, which we don't have that much, but with those can basically connect to here, add more accumulators, and we can also have one here, and that should replace that one, because the natural ones, they are good for protection, but we cannot harvest their energy, so that's no good. So we will need more, and we will also need recyclers. So let's place those around here, and then you can also send down more things, like more accumulators, belts, we'll need more of those for sure, gears, that one, because then we can build up kind of a system, and we have our field, our small field here. So let's set this up here on that side. Have that going here. Let's put in a bit of scrap. And probably one output there, input there. And we can add more in here. And eventually this will accumulate. Hopefully we will get some Yeah, there we have the holmium that unlocks the next piece. So now it's just a matter of expanding, and I have the undergrounds. So let's see if this actually works. If I put something here. Yep, that comes out on the other side, so we can actually bridge over this narrow gap here with belts, and have kind of a proper base going. But let me first set up proper energy harvesting infrastructure, and then we can see how we set up a scrap mining operation. The small island is all cleaned up, and as you can see, I did not bring enough accumulators, but it should at least help us to start with, and I expanded the power collection up here in this part. This should give us enough, and then I started a provisional setup for recycling so we can get more stuff out of it. So let's add our scrap that we have here in those two chests, and for the moment I'm just outputting here into chests, because what we need to do is we need to craft more recyclers so we can have a proper setup for recycling that can deal with the high throughput of scrap that we're getting. In the meantime, I have set up some scrap mining because the initial mine scrap was all processed, and I went ahead and set up a bit of a larger production. This setup here, where we can just hook it up there, get things out, and what I have learned, probably the best way to deal with this is have kind of a sushi belt with everything on it, and if you need to pull something off, you can have basically this setup where you filter the thing you want to pull off to one side, then have another splitter going there where it's actually pulled out, and if that's backlogged, then it will go back on the sushi belt. And with these, the recyclers, initially everything we recycle, we only get 25% of the amount back, so basically things will diminish, and in order to not backlog, we basically loop the recycled things back in here, priority, and recycle again. So this is kind of a different mindset you have than what you do on Nauvis, where basically if you're lacking some material, you just go back the pipeline and production lane, and see which input materials are lacking, where is the bottleneck. But here we basically have the finished products and we're breaking them down, and basically everything that we have in excess we will remove. And I will let this run a bit so we have a bit of materials. I think once these chests are full, should be good to get us started. But you can see here holmium I'm pulling off because this is something we want to stockpile. And then we basically can, let's have another one of these. Let's pull out the ice. Here like this. And then here, this filter, just an item that we have not on the belt, filtering to the right, so everything will go to the left. So here we will then have a few chemical plants where we will liquefy the water, or the ice, I should say. Pipes, don't have any pipes. But then we can basically store this in tanks, because eventually we will need water for processing, so we have it. And of course we need inputs here and there. And one thing we also should consider is that we basically this is about the amount of belts that I have left. So let's pull iron plates off the belt. And let's pull gears off the belt. And then we can hopefully have a production for belt going. And let's try to replicate what we have already built, where this one would be normal belts, and we have the underground and the splitters. And I think here I will not really worry about yellow belts. Let's just go ahead and go with the red ones. And then here the undergrounds, which means here we need two wells like this. There. Output. And Oh yeah, here we also need iron. Let's bring iron this way. Here we don't need iron. Actually, that means we can do it this way. Here we will need, let's move that back a bit. And have green circuits there. And this one is our holmium ore. That we put in a chest. And this goes to there. Then we just need to consider powering everything. And let's just have a hand. That does not work. Let's just do it this way. And for now I can just grab materials out of that chest, but I think that will do for the first episode here on Fulgora. I will let these chests run full, and then at the beginning of next episode we can hook this setup up and add more production to our belt. Until then, goodbye!